Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. We really appreciate. My name is Catherine, and I'm the moderator for today's session, the last session, and the followed will be the Best Paper Award. So please continue to stay with us. And so please allow me first to introduce our panel members. Thank you. Ms. Joyce Wong, thank you. The Director, Training Learning Academy, Melco Resort and Entertainment. Thank you so much. Mr. Stanley Chen, thank you. The Senior Manager of Affiliation and Partnership, Digital Marketing and eCommerce, Sense China. Ms. Dorothy Loy, thank you. Assistant Director, Event Planning, Suncity Group. Thank you so much. Ms. Anna Tique, yes, thank you. And Marketing and Business Developer, CNC Lawyers. So in today's session, we're going to have 3 presenters. And those are our final year 4 students. So I guess today is a very important moment for them. And before they standing on the stage, they actually practiced many times. And so all I would say to my students and our students is just be confident. I think you have done enough hard work. And I'm sure everyone here is just to support you. Okay. And so now without further ado, maybe first introduce our first presenter. YEUNG NICOLE. Her topic is staycation experience and hotel selection criteria during COVID-19 pandemic, a case study of Macau. I'm actually her supervisor, so if you have very difficult questions, don't ask me, ask her. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, okay, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. This is NICOLE YEUNG. And so as Catherine said, my topic and just introduced staycation experience and hotel selection criteria during COVID-19 pandemic, a case study of Macau. So it's especially for Macau situation. So this is my content page. And so I believe that most of you has experienced a staycation in Macau. So how is your experience? How is your, how do you select a hotel in Macau? And I believe that my finding today may help you to brainstorming on how do you select a hotel. So thanks to just now the keynotes from Director Helena, she has provided a lot of information about how the Macau situation are facing and in the 2019 and also 2020. So we are now talking about 2021 and the restriction policies from Macau SAR are always applicable nowadays. And for example, the Hong Konger who are coming or the people who are come from Hong Kong, they need to go through the 14 days quarantine also. And SAR, SARS, COVID-2 are always compared with the COVID-19 situation. However, the long-lasting time of the COVID-19 and the globalized size of COVID-19 are not applicable for nowadays. So it is new to the situation. And we can see here the hospitality industry are now facing to a is now facing to a economic downturn, which is happening globally. Next, these are my research questions. So what are the staycation motives and the decision-making criteria on choosing hotel in Macau? Literature reviews are researched, and also I would like to give some background information on the staycation phenomenon. So the staycation term is come from 2 particular terms, stay and vacation. And it is happened in the 2008 because of the US catastrophe. Also, in normal situation, why do people need to seek for a staycation? Because they want to express their feeling and relax, conserving cash, advance local economic income, and also because of the no limitation on time, it is actually easy to organize. So in normal situation on the vacation situation, people will normally search for price, safety and security, hotel and room facilities, and also service criteria in vacation situation. According to Document and Author research, 76% of the interviewees actually present a voted price on and value as important factors. And also 78% of the visitors prefer to choose hotel with licensed safety and security issue. And crisis management is actually under the consideration of safety and security factor. Hotel and room facilities, according to Chu and Choi researchers, many of the Hong Kong visitors considered comfortability and cleanliness of rooms are important while choosing a hotel for vacation. Service, as mentioned by research, because service is intangible to see, so that's why standard would help to tangible and to evaluate for the service part. That's why also mentioned by the Document and Author research, 95% of the customers suggest that service item is important in the results. So next is the methodology. The qualitative research is conducted in a semi-structured interview. Each interview lasts for 15 to 30 minutes, and all face-to-face interviews are conducted except one phone interview. And all interviews are conducted in Cantonese and were verbatim translated into English afterward. And for the respondents selection, I go through a non-random selection on the sample, and they need to fulfill two criteria. First, the residential proof on being a Macao resident and the relevant experience on their past 10 months to staycation. This is the interview design. So firstly, motives were asked on the intention on how they on seeking for staycation, and also the decision-making criteria. You can see here, we ask for their experience for more detailed information because we want to brainstorm the hotel selection criteria. Last but not least, overall hotel experience are asked on their on understanding the satisfaction of customers. Data analysis, content analysis and coding were applied, including open coding, actual coding, and selective coding. And because of the content analysis would help to contextualize the specific concepts and the categories. So we apply the content analysis. Lastly, for the Microsoft Word, I used to generate supportive resources in form. So here is the example, shows you my sample geographic details. You can see here, travel companion, family status, and group age are all included in this form. So we can see that how respondents divided into different groups and their age and their incomes. So to reply on the first research questions, here are the motives. There are 3 motives in total. To escape and relax, it is 1. So respondents 12, who is an insurance agent and a full-time mother. She was suspended for from her job duty during the pandemic for 6 months. So she feels very depressed, and at the same time, her son feels so struggled by the controlling by his mom. So both of them feel that they need to take a rest. So that's why they go for the staycation at that time. And to conclude, they feel tired from their daily operation, for example, the study and the work. So also the intensity of the whole pandemic atmosphere happened. Also, that's why they sought for hotels to recharge and refresh themselves. Second, to obtain different experience in Macao. As sample 2 and 14 mentioned that they are tempted by the discount offered by the hotel. And here you can see that respondents to who is a housewife has never been to a staycation in Macau. So it is because the expensive room rate in the normal situation and the hotel occupancy rate has significantly dropped in present situation. So the promotional price has dropped to attract more customers for the staycation. So at the consumer side, they would think the price is more affordable for them to explore a different Macau, explore a different image of Macau. Thirdly, to spend valuable time with friends and family. So because of here you can see that respondent 15, who is a wife who wants to celebrate her husband's birthday, and normally they will travel overseas. But in this situation, they prefer to stay in Macau. But why? Because they are blocked out from the travel overseas, the restriction policies. And because when they need to travel to mainland China, they also need to go through the exit test, which is very inconvenient to them. So to seek for a short vacation in 2 days, they try to stay inside Macau. And answering the second question's decision-making criteria. Based on the interviews, 4 different hotel selection criteria are discovered. First, facilities, price, and hotel status, and lastly, overall hotel rating on the service quality. So first is the in-room service. As respondents said that they seek for in-room service, for example, the tent, terrace, and the telescope. And also respondents 11 also mentioned that she would pay more attention on the bed and the bathroom facilities. Hotel facilities in public areas. So you can see here respondents 4, who is a housewife and a clerk. She looks for a swimming facilities for her children to enjoy. So they specially choose Galaxy Hotel to arrange a swimming session every day. And also public facilities near the hotel is important to the interviewees. Next, the price. Interviewees would consider price based on the value for money. So they would compare the room price and also the attached service by comparison. Third, the hotel status. Here you can see here, respondent 10, because he experienced a old and obsolete facilities in the hotel. So he mentioned that he will definitely rate higher if they got renovation. So, which means that an old decoration of the hotel will present with a bad or like less decent image. Last but not least, the service quality. So here is the students said that we are going to the hotel for enjoyment, but not the anger to and to suffer. So a better service quality could maintain with a better staycation environment. And here also with the starring rating. Lastly, this is the discussion of my thesis. New ideas has brought out to the table. And here are the managerial implications. Because of the mechanics are seeking for more time spending inside the hotel properties. So they would go to they would perhaps with more relaxing program, group events, and also special facilities. And also because of the promotional prices offered by different hotels are very similar. So packages with restaurant cash coupon are recommended to hotel to apply. And also efficient service and well-trained staff are asked to improve why am I saying that? Because here is the respondents replying. They are saying that they know that although they know that it is hard for the hotel to apply all the staff because of the human resources arrangement, but based on the high service quality are expected, manpower should be enhanced in the future. Last but not least, the limitation. So you can see here, there are 3 limitations. Because of the limited sample size and sample demographic distribution. So perhaps further researches on the quantitative research would be conducted in the future. And this is the reference list I've used for the thesis. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you. And are you ready for your next staycation now?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole, for your presentation. Maybe now we can open the floor for questions. Okay, maybe we can start from here.
Hello. Yes. Thank you for your presentation. That's very nice, very comprehensive. So according to the price to value,
Yes.
like how people select staycation. So considering Macau has launched a new campaign.
Yes.
And there's one last year. How do you think that will affect people's selection?
On the price value for money.
On the campaign together with your research. So if people paying from their pockets, that will be one of the factor. But providing Macau has some subsidiaries for the resident, how do you feel that will affect your analyzing?
You mean the government have give some allowance to them? So because I think that's why pricing is still a challenging part. Because, for example, I know that WeChat has collaborated with the government for providing a 50% discount charges to the residents. So at the same time, they would, because the amount of money is very little in difference, so they would consider into like different criteria apart from the price too. For example, the facilities, as I mentioned, and the service they provided. Yes. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, first of all, thank you, Nicole, for your presentation. I actually really like your whole slide, actually. And something I would like to highlight is I like that you have the interaction with us. At first, you ask us questions. Actually, we don't really answer, but you build the connection with us. This is really good. And the second thing is in the middle of your deck, actually, you also highlight some point of the you think is the main point of the response from the interviewer. This is also something very good. So I am also I also love staycation and in our hotel because I work at Sands China. We also create many different offers for the staycation in last year, and they both sell very well. And I also agree that most of the point that you have done in the deck, I think high value, high CP is quite important. And also for the staycation, some people, they may think that is there any things to do in the property?
Yes.
This is also very important. So when we really create the product, and then we will try to pack many different non-rooms components into the package instead of room only.
Yes.
But overall, I really like your presentation, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Nicole, for your presentation. I think you have picked a very good topic, which is very relevant, particularly in this pandemic situation that definitely a lot of locals are looking for staycation, and they have tried staycation as well. My question will be, it will be very interesting if looking into your research findings. One thing that perhaps you might dig into further in the future, if you want to continue study on this topic, will be at the very beginning, you have mentioned about from your literature review, from the researcher previously on the percentage, for example, on how people make the decisions in terms of pricing, safety, and so on, right? You have a percentage there.
Yes.
So it will be very interesting to see how Macau, as your case study, eventually, based on the respondents that you have collected, would the percentage be correlate to what you have found from the literature review,
Yes.
or what are the differences or variances? I think that would be very interesting for us to know about it. Although I also personally agree that service is definitely of the highest, but how about the others, or would there be any changes to that? It will be interesting for industries to know about that. The second one is I agree with you that the limitation for this research will be on the demographics and also on the sample size. Especially, I can see your demographics is more on students, which
Yes.
I understand from that perspective. But for future, if you want to dig into that deeper, perhaps I'm not sure if hotels will be supportive, but for sure, I think this is something you can try to obtain will be from different hotels as a whole. You can try to get the percentage of the locals who are doing this, and also in terms of their demographics, so that it is very valuable for the industry partners to also understand based on these market segments that are staying for staycation, and then we can sort of trying to understand from the market segment what exactly are their needs and expectations, so that it will be also very valuable for practitioners like us to create meaningful packages for those who are in need for the staycation.
Okay.
Yeah, but overall, I like your topic, which is very relevant to, and I'm sure that there are still a lot of opportunities that and gaps that we can further look into how we can explore further. And I'm sure your findings will be very helpful for us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Joyce. I think Nicole just found a co-author. So please write to Joyce after today. And I think you can jointly continue your study in a quantitative manner. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Do you have any more questions? Okay, thank you so much, Nicole. So may I present the second presenter, QUEENA, and her presentation topic is Macau residents' experience with the local museum. Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm QUEENA. Today, I'm going to share my findings on Macau residents' experience with local museums. First, I will talk about the introduction, then the literature review methodology, findings, and lastly, implications. In order to survive in today's competitive marketplace, it is essential for hospitality industry to understand, improve, and evaluate the service experience of their customers. In the context of museums, understanding the visitors become a matter for survival, as visitors nowadays have so many other choices of entertainment. In particularly, attracting local residents to visit their museums and have good visitations experience is crucial, as this can enhance their sense of belonging to the city and its cultural heritage assets. At present, not many research examining visitor experiences in museums. For these reasons, this study aimed to fill in some gaps of the research by examining experience of Macau residents in the Macau museums. 4 research questions are posed to examine the visitation patterns of residents to Macau museums, to investigate the local residents' experience with their museums, to explore the consequences visiting experience, and to explore the ways to enhance Macau residents' experience with their museums. Museum is an institution of knowledge which stores historical evidence that is important to the society. Museums play a key role in our community. Museums which help to tell the story of our own local history, provide a unique sense of place, and contribute to the quality of life of the residents by providing a platform for the promotion of the culture and history of the community. It is important for museum operators to understand their visitors' experience, as it allows museum staff to organize the environment to sympathize and interact with visitors in a more personal way and to promote personal understanding and a fulfilling experience. Previous studies state that the better the experience, the higher the satisfaction level of the visitors, and the higher the chances that they will revisit the museums and spread positive word of mouth. Pride and Gilmore have proposed 4 wings of experience: entertainment, education, aesthetic, and escapism, that indicates across 2 continuous dimensions. The first dimension indicates either form of experience that requires customers' passive or active participation, while the second dimension involves 2 extremes, which are absorption and immersion. Referring to this figure, the whims are determined by the guest level of participation, the horizontal axis, and the guest relationship with the surrounding, the vertical axis. There are a total of 26 museums in Macau. According to the study by CHING and YEUNG in 2011, the museums can be classified into 4 categories: history, art, religion, and lifestyle. Museums such as Maritime Museum, Fire Service Museums, Museum of Taipei and Colonial History, and Macau Museum, etc. are classified as history museums. Museum of Secret Art and Craft, Treasure of Secret Art, Museum of the Holy House of Mercy, and Treasure of Secret Art of St. Joseph Seminary are religion museums. Hanover Gift Museum of Macau, Macau Museum of Art, and Shanghai Memorial Museum are art museums. While heritage exhibition of a traditional pawn shop business, Grand Prix Museum, Wine Museum, Macau Science Center, Communication Museum of Macau, and Taipei Houses, etc. are lifestyle museums. In addition, the Grand Prix Museum and Wine Museum are excluded in this study, as these 2 museums are closed and under renovation from 2017 to March 2021. Quantitative research method was used in this study, and the survey was consist of 6 sections and was written in English and later on translated to Chinese in order to receive more response. Due to the time limit and budget available, purposive convenience sampling method were used, and the survey was conducted online by using Google Form. A link will be provided to the respondents through WeChat and Facebook. The survey was conducted from 4th February to 1st March. A total of 83 complete questionnaires were collected, and 72 of them were valid because of no missing value. Based on the findings, most of the respondents were female at the age of 16 to 34 years old and are either student or office worker. Majority of them visit the museums with friends or children and will spend an hour in the museum. The major motivations for them to visit the museums are to obtain knowledge. Besides obtaining knowledge, they also wanted to have fun, to educate their children, and to improve personal value and to bring more appealing topics in conversation. The most frequent visited museums among the respondents are Macau Science Center, Macau Museum, Maritime Museum, Taipei Houses, Macau Giant Panda Pavilion, and Communication Museums of Macau. This may be due to the fact that this type of museum provide entertainment and education experience, as previous results show that respondents wanted to obtain knowledge and have fun. For this table, SPSS was used to calculate the mean scores and standard deviation. According to the results of this table, museums in Macau did well in education and aesthetic experience, but not in entertainment and escapism experience. As education and aesthetic obtained an average mean score of 4.37 and 4.04 respectively, while entertainment and escapism only obtained an average mean score of 3.31 and 3.01 respectively. For the education, after visitors visit the museums, they feel that the exhibition allowed them to learn something new, enhance their knowledge, and stimulate their curiosity to learn new things. Using the most frequent visited museums among the respondents as examples, in the Macau museums, through the display of the historical items and descriptions, local people can learn how Macau transformed from a small little fishing village to a stunning city, as well as other cultures such as Chinese opera. For aesthetic, most of the respondents think that the architectural designs of the museums are attractive. This may be due to the fact that most of the museums has a clear design theme and concept and was designed by famous architects. Like the Maritime Museum, it has taken the ship as their design concept. Furthermore, museums will go under renovation and refurbishment from time to time to renovate their museum facilities, as well as to provide better experience for the public. For entertainment and escapism, most of the respondents state that the activities in the museums are not adequate, and people do not find that visiting the museums can bring escapism experience to them, such as to get away from their daily routine. They may be due to the fact that apart from the Macau Science Center and Communication Museum of Macau provide games machine for engagement, other museums do not provide. Other museums just simply have the visual display of the historical items that people can see but cannot touch. According to the respondent suggestions, most of them suggested to add more games and activities and to add more tour guide for them to have a better understanding of the exhibition. Overall, most of the respondents are satisfied with their visit. As a consequence, they are willing to spread positive word of mouth and recommend their friends and relatives to visit the museums. However, the intention of visit some of the museums are low, like the Museum of the Holy House of Mercy and the Heritage Exhibition of a traditional pawn shop business. This type of museums, people have low intention to revisit, as these type of museums are too small with little engagement and people can discover the place all for once. However, for the Macau Science Center that provides a lot of activities and interaction games, people had a higher intention to revisit. Based on the 4 experience rooms that Pride and Gilmore has proposed, the richest encounters are those involving elements of all 4 rooms. Since the result shows that museums in Macau do not do well on entertainment and escapism experience, therefore, Macau museums need to do some improvements on these 2 experiences. I suggest that the museums can add more interaction and games machine for visitors to have fun. For example, since the Macau Museum has some exhibition about the Chinese opera, so they may offer a Chinese opera show to entertain the visitors and enhance the visitors to have a better understanding of its art. And for the Maritime Museum, since VR is popular nowadays, so they may and Maritime Museum has a lot of display about the life of fishermen and the ships, so they may consider to have a real game of people to try fishing or sitting on a boat and try boat racing. Furthermore, some of the museums only provide guide tour on the weekend and some need advanced booking, and for groups only. Not many locals actually know that museums do provide guide tour. Therefore, museum manager may hold guiding tour more frequently and do not limit it to groups, but also for individuals in order to provide more opportunities for residents to participate. Moreover, museum managers may also take other countries as reference to get use of the technology by providing a device that can be used as an electronic guide for visitors to have a better understanding of the exhibitions whenever guide tours are not possible. Like the Museum of Old and New Art that is located in Tasmania, they have used the device that is called the old device to act as the electronic guide. Each visitors were equipped with an old device when they enter the museums, and they can just simply touch the monitor. The monitor will show the details of the artwork and the description of the artwork, as well as the audio track of the artwork. And here are the reference. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, QUEENA. Okay, now we open the floor for questions. Thank you, Anna.
Congratulations for your presentation. I was curious to know if there is a lot of visits from schools to these museums. What is the role that education might have in the affluence of visitors to local museums?
Yes, schools sometimes offer tours to the museums, such as the Macao museums, and people can know about the history of Macao.
Do you think that there is a need for more affluence from schools to go into the museums to maybe foster more interest in the museums in Macau?
Yes,
Is
sure.
that a factor at all?
Yes, sure, because we can tell the next generation about how our lives are in the past.
I just wanted to comment on something that you pointed out on how more interactive experiences seem to have a more positive response from visitors, right? And I have seen in some gaming, in some casinos also, some exhibitions that are very interactive. Also, I think they become very memorable, right? So I think it would be interesting for local museums to adopt some more of these experiences. But overall, just congratulations for your study.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Very nice one. Considering your suggestions and also the pandemic situation in the world, do you think virtual tour is part of an experience for our tourists? Because you can open the museum in Macau to the world. There are 26 museums that are not, I don't think it should be bounded by geographic situation, but virtual tour might be a good suggestion for your presentation as well. So secondly, you have mentioned there are some interactions required. For entertainment, I don't think entertainment is really a good word for educational tour, but sometimes the campaign by museums like making art pieces in live, like making them live by digital platforms maybe, or tools sometimes might be a good thing for museum as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, you are QUEENA. I want to also echo with Anna. Congratulations. I think you have done a very thoughtful, in-depth research on this topic, especially with your sample size and also in terms of how you look into the overall museums in Macau. And you have also given a very interesting at the very beginning, I don't know what it is called, I can't recall that, but you have given a quadrum of how, the meaning given in terms of education, aesthetics, and so forth, right? I think that is a very interesting part. And based on that, I think you have really dig into that and find out that for Macau situation, it is really number one reasons for people going there is the education. I think this is very worthwhile to know about this finding, and also aesthetic is also a very important point. So I really like the findings and the efforts that I can tell that you have put a lot of efforts into this research. So congratulations on that. And one thing which is very interesting to know and what we have seen from the observer's point of view as well is the low intention to revisit again. Once you have visited, there's not much that would attract you to go back again. So you have also given a lot of suggestions in regards to what we can do to enhance the museum itself. But perhaps if you can also help us to find out in terms of the collaboration, like what Anna has mentioned with the schools and any other opportunities other than schools that could be done in terms of the collaboration, which I'm sure that we have such a great product here with the museums. It is about how proactively that we can engage with different organizations that can, allow people to understand more about, Macau through these museums. And of course, different museums have their different educational part, which I believe is very valuable for the citizens in Macau and also for the tourists as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, panel members. And we appreciate your comments. Thank you, QUEENA. Thank you. Now, please allow me to introduce our third presenter. Eden, right? Eden Lee. Her topic is demand for low-budget hotels by different types of travelers. A case study of 2 to 3 star hotels in Macau by word of mouth on social media. I'm sure Stanley will have a lot of questions. This is in your area. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Eden. Today, I'm going to present the demand for low-budget hotels by different types of traveler, a case study of 2 and 3 star hotels in Macau by word of mouth in social media. Here is my agenda. First, I'm going to introduce the Macau budget hotel market. Macau has a very well-developed hospitality industry with a large number of hotels in different segments. However, the capacities and the pricing of the hotel is one of the barriers of Macau tourism development. Therefore, some experts suggest that Macau government should consider lower the conditions of opening and 2-star hotels and encourage a set of other form of budget accommodations so that to balance the Macau tourism market. These 2 figures shows the 2 and 3-star hotels located in the majority located in the peninsula of the Macau Islands, where it's in the old city, while 4 and 5-star hotels are located in the coastal area of the Macau Peninsula and Taipa Islands, also the Koloan Islands, which are comparatively newly development areas by the Macau government. And then is the information about the sea trip. Mainland customer is the major visitors and the hotel guests in Macau. And sea trip holds 75% of the online travel booking market in China and has become the most popular online travel platform for mainland tourists. Sea trip provide information for the customers about the hotel, and they encourage the former consumers to provide the information such as their ratings, their room types, and photos of their stays. And the hotel also allowed to respond their review. Therefore, Ctrip is very worthy to collect the online reviews of the Macau hotel in Chinese, for Chinese. And here is my research objective. Overall is to generate the overall performance of Macau budget hotel from the consumer reviews and then identify the current situations of the budget hotel under different travel types of traveler, and then provide an understanding for the budget hotels and give suggestions. Here is my methodology. First, I will collect the information from Ctrip using the whole collector. And the collection will begin from October 1st to the end of the 2020. The first review post in 2016. There are totally 44 or more thousands or more reviews were collected by the end of 2020. And then manage the data, categories by hotel name, travel mode, and overall hotel score comments in the Excels, translated into English and then proofreaded, and then using the text analyzed via NVivo. Further categorize it into Hua and his peer critical success factors in 5 dimensions. Generate the word frequency and the word cloud, and then using the SPSS for descriptive statistics and doing the ANOVA test. Here's are my key findings. In over the past 5 years, the Parisian Macao Emperor Hotel Senators are the top 3 budget hotels who generate the most review numbers, which also lead to the highest room rates. Parisian Macao possessed the significant greater online review amongst the listed hotel. Furthermore, 12 hotel review over 1,000 for the past 5 years, and then 8 hotels are under 100, which appearing a very huge gap between all the budget hotel. And it appears that the hotel awareness and the visitor numbers between all the budget hotel has a very huge gap. For example, the highest visitor number may reach to 6,000, whereas the lowest may reach to only 1 reviews. And then here's are the numbers of travel types from 2016 to 2020. The majority of the visitor in Macau is family trips, friends outing, business trip, and it's the same as the 3-star hotel. However, for the 2-star hotel or guest house, friends outing, family trips, and travel along are the majority of the travelers. And here are the top 20 hotels for the overall score by the customers. The average score by the consumer is 4.57 out of 5, which means most of the customers are satisfied with the budget hotel they stay in. And the top 3 hotels are Parisian Macao, Grand Emperor Hotels, and Hotel Rocks, meaning that the highest number of the visitor is not necessary with the well performance. Even with the high profile, the customer experience may not be correspondingly better than the other. For example, some hotel with a lower review may perform better than the other hotels. And the lower rate hotels also receive lower score. But not all the official rating by the MGTO is positively correlated to the overall performance. For example, for 2-star hotel and 2-star guest house, may evaluate score have been higher than the other hotels. And here are the consumers' perception of budget hotel in Macau. In the reviews, the reviewing score over 4 to 5 are being considered a positive review, while 2 and below are considered a negative review. And this category review will count separately for high frequency word in 5 dimensions. As the table shows above, the most common terms in the customer service dimensions are service, cleanliness, and time, indicate that the customers care more about the hotel service, and the poor performance in this area may lead to the negative impressions or reviews. And those comments above reflect the problem that exists in the budget hotel and show that the customer care more about the service quality and the attitude. And here is about the location and promotion. The convenience of the locations is something that appears on the dimension of locations, including how easy it is to find a hotel and how close it is to the attraction. And only a few reviews mention about the promotion. Few customers mentioned about the upgrades and the dining voucher offered by the front desk when checking in. Even after COVID-19, there were still few keywords mentioned about the promotions in the reviews. And the dimension of price is rarely mentioned in the review. It usually mentioned about the value for money. So this validate that there is a balance between the customer expectation from a budget hotel and the price they pay. And regarding to the physical products, the environment, room size, and breakfast were all high frequency words, which include a large number of positive reviews, like the comments shown above. However, those positive reviews are also matched by many negative ones in other hotels. For example, more than 2 customers will mention about there were bugs in the hotel rooms and beaten their children. And there are also many negative reviews about the poor hygiene and the outdated facility. Also, their rooms are very dirty and smell badly. It implies that the facility in the budget hotel have a very huge gap. They are uneven. With some of the hotel are being very well developed and they have a very good facilities. Even some of them are above the average budget hotels, while many have still have some old facilities and there are lack of the regular maintenance. The most critical issue is that the service standards and hygiene environment of this hotel are very too much, that the industry need a standard to measure the performance. And here is the results from the SPSS ANOVA test. And this shows that there is a significant difference between 7 travel types in terms of customer perception of the performance. And this table further illustrates the detail of review contents by top 100 high frequency word from 7 types of traveler in 5 dimensions. First is about the promotion, customer service, and location. It shows that the least comments were made regarding to the promotions area. Among customer, all of the travel time mentioned less about it, and with only a few of them from the family trips, travel alone, friends outing, couples outing, mentioned about the room upgrades by the front desk. However, upgrades are rarely mentioned by the other types. Customer service have been already the key concern for all the traveler types. And regarding it, especially in terms of the hotel hygiene, with those traveling with the children will be more sensitive to the room's hygiene, the cleanliness of the hotel environment than the other type of the visitors. The attitude of the front desk also the second most important concern for the family trips and the friends outing travelers. Customer traveling alone, couples outing, traveling for business, booking for others or others type of travelers, they are more concerned about the location of the hotel. How easy is it to find? And whether it is close to the attractions and convenient to the shopping mall, and whether it is close to the dining area. For example, customers who traveling alone or with a couple, they may prefer to walk around the hotel and experience the atmosphere in Macau and also to experience the local restaurant. And about the price, physical product, the customer who are in travel alone, friends outing, or other travel types usually mention about the affordable in price dimension, which imply that those travel types are more sensitive to the hotel rate change and they care more about the promotion. In this table, the physical products consumer in family trips mostly mention the availability for child-friendly facility, and they prefer to choose a big name hotel or recommend by the online travel expertise. Like for example, the Parisian Macao received more comments from the consumer in family types because they are one of the few budget hotel in Macau that offer the children corner and swimming pool for the customer. Maybe that is the reason for family trip choose this hotel. And physical product is very important to the customer in other types. Those who visit Macau for the special event, for example, some students come here for the IELTS exams, they may prefer a very clean room and a very quiet environment. Next is the managerial implication. First is the promotional activities. First, the promotion strategy related to budget hotel only mention about the upgrades offered by the front desk. And fewer and almost no reviews receive promotions such as online ads and offering discounts and coupon before the trips. This implies that budget hotels have limited investment in promotion and marketing. Therefore, customer will concentrate on choosing some big name when booking budget hotel, which will lead to the loss of competitiveness of the domestic hotel with local characteristic. In this particular period of COVID-19, the global industry has been badly affected. Budget hotels in Macau should consider designing some promotional activity if they want to survive. It is suggested that Macau budget hotel consider offering more promotions to the customer pre-trip during this period. For example, coupon for dining, discount for the room rates. And then it's to pay attention to the visitor types. Difference were found in the 7 travelers types, which indicate that different travel type have different needs. Hoteliers should pay attention to the travel type before the trips when they are booking. For example, travelers are more cautious about the environment and noise when recommend to the hotel room to the family trip. They should place in a relative quiet areas and offer vouchers to the or discount to the solo traveler, and also advise on some special itinerary for the people who travel with their friends. And then is to check the facility product periodically. Poor hygiene sanitation is a very serious problem in some budget hotels in Macau. Hoteliers are advised to pay attention to this aspects by regular checking their condition of ventilation, windows, and back, and so on. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Eden. And let's open the floor for questions. Stanley, may we start from you? Thank you.
Thank you, Eden. I think this is a very good presentation. I think you are also very smart to get the data connection from C-Ship, because C-Ship is actually is really the top OTA in the China market in terms of revenue. However, I also want to share some information for you. Actually, and in the future, maybe if you want to do a research about the second and also the first star of hotel, you can also consider to get the information from Meituan, because actually Meituan is not really a new OTA, but newer OTA than C-Ship. And in China, Meituan is the top OTA in terms of room night. So the reason why they are the top OTA in terms of room night, but C-Ship is not the top of room night, is because actually Meituan, the ADR, the average daily rate of the room night they sold is actually really low, quite lower than C-Ship. And the main reason is because they focus more on the second and the third star of hotel. So in the future, you can consider to try to get some data for that, because also one of the information for you is Meituan. Maybe you will ask why they can focus on the second and the third star of hotel. One of the reasons is because they start their business from the takeaway. They actually is the same company of the Dianping.
Yes.
Dianping. And then so later on they expand their business to hotel, but their customer base is majority is those lower spending customers. So this is the reason why C-Ship and Meituan is so different. But also some more information for you. For Parisian, I think maybe most of the people, they don't know that it is a 3-star hotel.
Yes.
Because actually the quality and also everything, the service is really quite like a 5-star hotel, but it's actually a 3-star hotel. So you can see that the review, how come the review is, the number of reviews is so high? It's one of the reasons because they have the very high inventory. Yeah, they have around 4,000 rooms now. There's around 3,500 after the renovation. And more about the review, the number of review, you can see that the Parisian is also very high. And honestly, in the COVID-19 period, many hotels, they are offering the staycation package at the very low rate. And honestly, most of the hotels, they don't really earn money. But their strategy is actually try to pack as much as possible and then to sell lower and then to get the good review online. because compared with before, maybe a room is selling at $2,000, and then nowadays it's around 1,000, but also including the same value of the long rooms components. And then so the customer, they try it now, and then they will see that, oh, it's very valuable. So that's why they will give a very good review for those hotels.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my sharing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stanley. Thank you.
Congratulations on your presentation. I'm surprised. I didn't know that the Parisian was a 4-star hotel. 3-star. I thought it was 4-star. I think there's something that, just as a suggestion, that Macao could look into, which is for budget hotels, to come up with some theme hotels.
Yes.
Nowadays, I think a lot of people are interested in ecotourism or cultural tourism. So maybe to get the tours that the tourism bureau is coming up with would be an interesting way to attract different kinds of tourists as well. I think you mentioned something about the ecological interest, or some tours that some hotels are doing. Are any of the budget hotels already coming up with these specialized tours in Macau?
I don't think there is review that related to this topic. The majority of the review like to evaluate the hotel situation, since most of the large percent of the budget hotel in like 2-star or 2-star guest house may have a very bad facility, so they didn't pay attention to that point.
Right. So maybe that would be a good suggestion for some renovation or rebranding of some of the hotels.
Yes.
But overall, I think this study is invaluable, because it's important to know the feedback
Yes.
from the tourists, and well done.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so with Eden's presentation, I think we will conclude today's session. So I hope the panel members and also the participants also enjoyed the presentation. So now I'll be called upon our presenter today to present you the certificate, and then followed with a group photo with our distinguished panel members. Okay, so Nicole, please come to the front. Thank you so much. And you can join the team break and take a photo with the back paper presentation. Thank you.